Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Pay attention to me, boy. I'm not just talking to hear my head roar.
So it's sort of social. Demented and sad, but social, right?
Guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
Save the technical mumbo-jumbo. I just want to know if it'll work.
You see, we're on a mission from God.
It's yet another in a long series of diversions in an attempt to avoid responsibility.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do?
Ludicrous speed! Go!
Again, we are live. Russell Industrial Center here in beautiful, sunny, not raining Detroit, Michigan.
For once, it is kind of a first for us. It's not monsooning out.
I think it's because we took 2 weeks off that this time the cloud didn't follow us.
We just confused Mother Nature. Right.
But then they don't turn the air conditioning on in the studio, so it's like 98 degrees in here. So,
right. And I'm still kicking myself for not telling Dave to play the Welcome Back Carter song because we were gone for 2 weeks.
Carter or Cotter?
Cotter.
Welcome back, Carter.
Carter, yeah.
Carter. Welcome back, Carter.
Have another beer.
Hello, Joe. Is that a movie about a basketball coach?
It might have been.
So this is what, episode 8? We did have 2 weeks off. This is episode 8. Insert witty title
our
here.
Second run at episode 8. Insert witty title.
7.5.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. You got Bob the Sales Guy here along with Jeff, the Voice of Reason, Dave the Geek. We have some great guests today. We're going to have a lot of good content, a couple rants that Dave wants to throw out. We have Mark here from Wolverine. We got Jason here from OpenCo talking about a new event coming to downtown Detroit. But yeah, good times. How was the weekend?
Good. What made me laugh more than anything else, and I feel like I will be doing a huge disservice if we don't dive right into the whole sense of entitlement guy thing that we've ranted about on our site before. Because so
you want to open up this can of worms?
Really?
Yeah, he's going to dive right into it.
Oh no, we're going in with both feet, and we're just going to have a good time with it. So the news at the end of last week, and it was one of those times where I was truly, truly sad that we don't do this every day because I really wanted to hammer on it, where the guys from McDonald's and Burger King and all the fast food joints walked off their jobs because they decided that a fast food job deserves $15 an hour. And my head almost exploded. I mean, all the stuff that we've done, for the military guys over the couple years of our events and that kind of stuff. There are guys in the military that aren't making $15 an hour, and our lives depend on them.
Well, think about the restructuring that they did at Ford GM. Those guys are making $15 an hour, and they're in hot factories shooting rivet guns.
Guys on the line,
welding,
teachers, police officers, firefighters.
Cops,
Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, the people whose lives we actually depend on aren't making $15 an hour. So where in the hell do people get off thinking that, I guess
the thing that got, okay, so let me throw mine out and then I'll probably stop talking the rest of it. But
first off, phrasing.
Here's
I don't want you to throw yours out. Let's just be clear.
Right. No,
really? It's not that kind of show.
I'm not drinking either. But the fact of the matter is, when you hire on a job, do you not negotiate your salary and you agree upon it when you take the said job?
Oh, let's not even get into that. I mean, because that whole discussion blew up in our LinkedIn group this week. But I mean, let's look at the type of job that you're going for. At what point in time did the McDonald's job move from the job you have when you're in high school or even, college, whatever, and you're just trying to
it's a paper route type of thing. Yeah, it's like the whole vacation thing. He's holding out for a management position.
Yeah, it was never meant to be.
Well, we have a friend
the
that
breadwinner for family of 4.
Dave and I have a friend that raised a family. He worked at McDonald's for 28 years in rural Michigan. Worked his way to middle management, but he was able to support a family.
He clawed his way to middle management.
But the thing was with him is he lived in rural Michigan where cost of living is a tenth
right.
of what
It's all
here.
relative.
Absolutely. But the fact of the matter is, you agreed to said job. You get together and said, "Well, we deserve $15," so you walk off said job and hope the government will raise the floor.
These people don't understand that if the companies actually raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour, those companies wouldn't exist.
Well, did you hear this story?
It would be too expensive.
Of a man named Brady?
Yes. He was living with 3 very lovely girls. This story came out that M Live ran with it, And it said if you doubled the worker salaries, you had to raise a Big Mac 68 cents.
Oh, and that came from some college kid's Tumblr blog.
Yeah, it came from a Tumblr blog, like a college sophomore that had zero.
Let me guess, he's an econ major.
Who knows? Poli-sci, right? Why can't I get a job?
Humanities.
But the fact of the matter is these major, like Huffington Post ran with it. So now everyone has it stuck in their head. Then they ran the retraction, and then no one pays attention to it.
87
Where's the
pages
crickets
later,
at?
and
Exactly.
Well, but I mean, and that does feed into what you were going to touch on there was and this blew up in our LinkedIn group, and I'm sure Mark, you'll have something to chime in about this. We had that I don't know if you saw it or not, but that whole thing about the guy that came in and said, I don't even bother talking about salary until I've met with the hiring manager, and I'm already 3 interviews in. It doesn't work that way.
No,
I mean,
no, not anymore. It doesn't. We pre-negotiate the salaries up front all the time, lock the candidates down. You have to, because if it comes to an offer at that point, you want the person to accept the job and go to work. You don't want them to sit there and try to negotiate and work themselves out of the whole deal. So,
you don't want to blindside them.
And I
they
know
don't
that's
want to blindside
different
you.
in the fast food world, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
pretty well
professional
established
world.
right up front what you're going to be getting when you go for the McJob interview.
Exactly.
The phrase that's driving the phrase
It's
that's
not
driving
your
me
way.
the phrase that's driving me nuts is living wage. But no one defines what it is.
Well, but there's a difference between making a quote unquote living wage.
What is a living wage?
Well, but it's
it's all relative.
Absolutely.
From a common sense perspective, it should be what you yourself need to subsist on.
How?
But a McJob was never meant to be breadwinner family of 4 in downtown Manhattan. I mean, that's just not what that was.
Right. It was high school kid, retiree, filling the gap or making a couple extra bucks so he can, have vacation money.
Right, and I mean it's that whole rant that we went off on, with sense of entitlement guy. Probably got to shoot a link out on Twitter at some point in time, where we did. I mean, we had this several instances at our events where candidates were putting just these insane restrictions on. I want a job that is within a 5 square mile radius of my house, and that's all the further I'll go, or lets me work from
I don't
home.
want to drive to Detroit from Ortonville. Yeah. Right. That's
Jeff. I don't want to.
It's not me. I'm saying from anywhere.
Any of that kind of nonsense where. The college kids that come to our events fresh out of school and think that someone's going to hand them a $150,000 a year job. Son, I'm sorry that the education system failed you, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I blame that on the professors. They're the ones coaching them that say you can demand that upon graduating from college.
Really? Where are those professors? Because we could leave here and go beat them.
Who's teaching? I was reading last week. I was off of work, so I had a lot of free time, and I was reading.
Nothing good can come of this.
Video game.
No,
that's a whole nother story.
I was hitting the message forums, and everybody's like, "Well, if you cut executive pay by 10%, you could double their wages." And I said, "I got to do some math because it does not sound right." So I went to McDonald's. I looked at their wiki page.
Oh wait, you actually did research?
I did,
and you didn't get banned from Reddit?
I didn't. But I said they have 1.8 million employees, right? They have 40 people that are executives, quote unquote executives, right? Top guy makes 12 million. Bottom guy probably makes $300-400 grand. So average it out, they make $1 million a year. Right.
Okay.
And you have 1.8 million employees. If you give them all 40 hours a week at minimum wage, that's 15 grand a year. So that works out to like 27 billion, if I remember my math.
Wait, no, that math doesn't work so minimum wage is 7 something times 40 hours a week.
That's 15 grand a year.
Yeah. Okay.
But then, so great. You take $40 million and you cut 10%. That's $4 million. You have almost 2 million employees. That'll buy everyone a Happy Meal. And it's like, that doesn't work that way. But people have it in their head that cut executive pay and you could pay the little guy. And it doesn't work that way. It just,
Well, and it never does. And I mean, and the other thing that it...
And I'm not being political. This is left-right.
It has nothing to do with politics at all. I mean, it's one of those things where... And the other fact and figure that, the stat that gets thrown out is top CEO pay versus, bottom... Turn your phone down, Bob.
Sorry.
I'll shush your mic and your phone. What does the CEO make versus, what does the bottom wage earner make? And, you do see a lot of, in the 50s, when we were going through a huge rapid expansion and all that kind of stuff, it was great. And CEO page was somewhere around, maybe 15 or 20 to 1. Whereas now you look at the CEO page with, Ford, GM, Chrysler, and, the CEOs are making, 20, 30, 40, 50 to 1, what the guys in the line are making. And from a value add perspective, and I was actually having this conversation Saturday night out with my neighbor and some of his buddies, and some of them run union shops. And he's like, their perspective is, they don't have the ability to flex pay people. They don't have the capability to, hey, that guy's doing a really good job, I'm going to give him a raise. No, it's all or nothing. But, his whole thing is it's all about value add. And he started bringing up like the A-Rods or, I said, no. You can't bring sports figures into this because they're paid based on entertainment and the dollars they bring in from that.
Every job you get is based on what money you bring in, no matter what. And that's the thing with teachers is, I always wanted it to be based on merit pay, and you just can't do it, and it's based on tenure. But, everyone brings up when you look at, like, how Costco runs things, right? They're paying, define a living wage, but they're paying, what, $17 an hour for, like, your typical cashier stock boy. But it's also a completely different animal from Walmart because Costco employs, what, a couple 100,000 people? Walmart employs almost 3 million. Again, it's scale.
Well, and not only that, but I mean, a lot of the blowback that Walmart's been taking is, they deliberately keep people below 40 hours. They said they don't have to do benefits. They don't have to do any of that nonsense.
And that's only going to get worse.
Well, and it is. I mean, and that's, and maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, at least from, an IT perspective, a couple months ago in the group, we were talking about how, more and more it was looking like contract to hire and, the temp work and all that kind of stuff was where it's going. I was talking to Mark earlier, and they're seeing exactly the opposite.
Yeah, our openings have switched dramatically, and we have probably 95% of our jobs are perm placement jobs now.
Wow,
really?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Is that from a particular industry or just across the board?
IT. I mean, everything.
No, I'm talking about your client base. In the IT realm, your customer base.
Yeah, I would say healthcare is one for sure. I mean,
Okay.
if you're going to get down to the actual industry per se, because a lot of them are implementing systems like Epic, which is a healthcare management record keeping system.
Yep.
They're going to invest a ton of money in that system and training. They don't want to lose those employees. And if they're a 6-month contract to hire, they're going to train them, and within 3 months they could get a job somewhere else or move out of state or make more money. And so they're going to invest money into those employees. They're going to want to keep them. So they're just going to offer them perm jobs right off the bat.
I read a cool article. Was it Sunday's paper about a new restaurant that opened in Detroit called Moo Cluck Moo, and they're paying I think $15 an hour for restaurant work. And he said, he goes, to be honest with you, he goes, the people that are working there now are like they appreciate it. They have pride in it. It's a completely different, and it makes you think about it. That employee like hiring an employee and bringing them on fresh cost way more than it's all, it's like cost of acquisition and onboarding.
Absolutely. Yeah, onboarding is hugely expensive for
right. So like, you look at like a Walmart and it's like, it makes no sense why you would go for that, minimum wage work, or if you just thought about it and, paid someone to have pride in coming to work, that you wouldn't have to deal with the turnover. You wouldn't have to deal with shrinkage, because if you working minimum wage, cold, the water, is it me? But you don't have to deal with a lot of the garbage that comes with, having to hire bottom. I mean, I don't mean to be mean, but bottom of the barrel. Right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, not even necessarily mean or even bottom of the barrel, but I mean, it is that food chain of life. I mean, it is. I mean, but that's the point. I don't get where, again, that became a career for everybody. I just don't see where that happened at all.
It's the whole mentality. I mean, you nailed it on the head in the first 30 seconds.
With the fact that you're walking out because you're not getting what you want, and then I'm the bad guy because I said, well, you don't have to work there, and then I said, well, if you're waiting for the government to raise the floor instead of improving your skills or networking, then you're doing it wrong. And then I'm the bad guy for talking like that. Right. And I still don't get that mentality. Like my whole career, my whole life, I've always tried to be better.
Well, that's the joke from Christmas Vacation, right? He's holding out for a management position. It's
right. He hasn't worked in 7 years. He's been holding out for a management position.
Exactly.
Well, we had that at one of our first Detroit Net events as well.
Which one?
I think he's still floating around. I'm hanging out for a management position. Yeah.
Right.
6 years later, like, what are you doing? Yeah, still. Is that entitlement though? That you need this ultimate? Because I always thought you put food on the table no matter what. Like it's your responsibility. Your job is, not saying I'm a macho guy, but like, it's your job.
You're providing.
You're breadfeed. Yeah. I mean, there was a time in my life. I mean, I always had my wife has a master's degree. Always had 2 jobs. You know what I mean? I'm corporate sales. I've always had 2 or 3 jobs, whether I'm DJing on the side, whether I'm
most people in IT
money.
have 2 jobs.
Right.
They're moonlighting doing something.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like you work at McDonald's, don't you think like you'd pick up a side job to try to, break
if it's important to you, then you'll do it.
Right. Instead of waiting for someone to raise the floor on you. It's just,
right.
I don't want to wait for anyone. I want to take care of my own business.
Exactly.
Well, and so I guess let's drag OpenCo in here for a second, because I mean, you guys are trying to kind of get into all of the new and cool, fun things that are going on downtown with all the new skills and all the new companies. So I mean, what do you guys have going on? What's just the quick version before we dive into in a couple minutes?
OpenCo it's a celebration of the companies, the technology, the culture, the community. It's it was started in San Francisco last fall by a gentleman by the name of John Battelle. The festival went off as you would expect in San Francisco very well. There was over 2,000 people attended.
Wow.
And essentially, sorry, let me cut to the chase. So
Let's say, why don't you give a 101 for people that don't know what OpenCo is? Because this is like
I was going to say, back it up one step.
Yeah.
Right.
So, the whole concept was that the last thing that, the technology industry needed was another, 5 guys on a stage and a panel discussion.
Yeah,
type format.
another TEDx event.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, just talking about how great and innovative they are, right? I mean, those events are great, but honestly, to get people physically out into the environment, into the community, to experience these wonderful companies in their native environment and seeing the people do this work, the idea was to actually get people on their feet, get them out and to see those things in action. So essentially what the founders did, they curated 30, 40, 50 companies in the city of San Francisco and said, would you like to participate? Arrange them in a sort of a fashion that allowed you to pick your own schedule and say, at 8 o'clock, I want to go see this company. At 9 o'clock, I want to see this company. At 10,
it's like a pub crawl.
Exactly.
So is it literally like a bus tour?
Yeah. It's a bus. They like it. They like to say it's like part tech festival, part rock concert, right? So
Okay.
so essentially, you get a wristband, you get a lanyard.
And everybody throws up at the end.
Everybody, yeah. There's a lot of
sticks.
a lot of mayhem, but no, it's the sort of that natural fluid, bumping into people in the streets. Oh, I just went and saw this great company. I'm going to go over here now. Let's walk over there together. That whole sort of very native and an organic concept, right?
Right.
What do they get when they're going to company XYZ? What are they saying? What are they doing?
Yeah,
are they just giving a tour? Are they giving a pitch? Are they?
Yeah, short tour. You go in, you hear from one of the founders or co-founders. They talk about it's about a 45-minute presentation. They talk about what they do, what their passions are, why they founded this company. But more importantly, and specifically to Detroit, why here? Why did you choose Detroit to start your business? You could have gone anywhere to start a company. Why did you choose here? So, that's sort of the whole, the theme behind this event.
So if I'm John Q. Public and I want to go to this, and like you said, if some of these pitches are half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's a one-day event, right?
Correct. So
So you would have to choose to which businesses you would want to go to. Like if you've got,
it's like a choose your own adventure,
right? Exactly. So if there's 50 companies going and each one has a half an hour, 45-minute presentation, you're not going to be able to hear them all, right?
Correct.
Is that by design though? So like you want to go to the ones that you're most interested in.
Yeah, and it's beyond just tech too. I want to make that clear. So the whole idea is any interesting and innovative and passionate company in the city. It was a company that we looked at, right? So like Shinola is on our list, and it's a company who's agreed to participate. Not necessarily a tech company by trade, but a very interesting company and a company that chose to put in roots here.
No, very cool. And I guess just to wrap it back to we were yakking about the whole entitlement thing. It's cool to see that some of these companies that are really busting their ass downtown to do stuff are getting a little recognition. Especially in light of you got Kevin Orr, the EM for Detroit coming out and saying, oh, well, Detroit was basically dumb, fat, and lazy, and if you had an 8th grade education, you got a 30-year job, and blah. I mean, he's getting a lot of blowback about that, and it's cool to see some of these other companies now.
Well, the way I look at it is, you have these pub crawls that go on down Detroit, and I go, God, I never even heard of these bars.
Right.
It's phenomenal.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then you go on this pub crawl and you find all these great little amazing little places, and it's kind of like this, right?
And they're all packed.
Yeah,
right.
But like my buddy just worked for a company. It's a startup. It's an app dev. They're building an app for like a Salesforce add-on. I never heard, and they're downtown. I never heard of them.
Yeah.
And I started reading on them. I'm like, God, this is a pretty amazing little company.
That was I would not to interrupt. That was one of the most interesting things about this whole exercise and sort of curating these companies and putting this event together. I mean, just off the top of your head, how many would you think we have participating?
25-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say a dozen.
We've got over 50
you
companies.
Told us there were 40 or 50 companies.
Yeah, all right, sorry. All right, you busted me.
Dave was paying attention.
But and
it's
if you
on
go
their website,
if
too.
you go to our website at det.openco.us, you'll be able to see all the list of companies that we've got participating, and it's a great collection. It's really interesting to see just that wide range of different innovative companies that are here in the city and doing great things.
Well, and for what it's worth, I mean, we've got the links to you guys already out on the site, and we'll have them, of course, out on the recap and all that kind of stuff as well. So,
as I say, you want to throw the number out? We didn't do that when we launched.
We never do.
Yeah, we never do. Yeah,
so suck at
yeah.
that.
You can tweet us at ITinTheD on Twitter or DetroitNet on Twitter. The call-in number is.
Well, I'll tell you, why don't we hold off on the call-in number? Because we're about ready for a break anyway.
We are.
The call-in number is
exactly. It's 8675309. That's the call-in number. Well, I'll tell you, why don't we go ahead and we'll take a quick break, reset.
Perfect.
We just wrapped up, and I'm sure it was painfully obvious. We had a couple of mic issues in the room. We'll get
Details.
we'll get ourselves back together here. We'll be back live in just a couple seconds.
ITinTheD, Raw Radio X.
We'll be right back.
Wait, what's Fear not, Ranger, Barbarian, Magician, Thief, Cavalier, and Acrobat.
Who was that?
That was Venger, the force of evil. I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88. Roads?
Well, welcome back. Well, sorry, everyone. We had technical difficulties.
It's like the scene from
we are back.
It's like the scene from Airplane. Just kidding.
Yeah. As we plug everything back in,
we were looking for an IT guy in the house. We couldn't find one.
Is there an IT person in the house? Bob and I were messing with the volume on our headphones. But honestly, it wasn't us. It wasn't us.
He always blames me for everything anyway. This will be my fault somehow.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, when we said shush Bob, we didn't say turn everything off.
You're all coming down with me if the boat's going down.
Exactly. We shushed Bob. Bob shushed everyone. It's sort of like an angry cat meme.
We're back. ITinTheD, Raw Radio X, Russell Industrial Center. Got got some new guests in the studio. We got Jason from OpenCo. We got Mark from Wolverine Staffing. We'll be talking a little bit about the job market. We also have a couple of the female persuasion. We have Elise and April from Brightwing that have been hanging out patiently listening to us and mocking us incessantly.
And
Where did we find
us,
them, by the way?
I don't know. They showed up at the bar.
Oh, okay.
It always starts that way.
Like, we like geeks, so we want to, we're the only girls on the planet. Is that it? You guys don't want to introduce yourselves?
Thanks for having us. I think we're really nervous. This is serious.
You're doing fine.
No, it's really not.
You're online.
Yeah,
it's really not all that deep and serious.
Yeah, we're actually live this time, so go ahead and talk.
Yeah, right. After the 5 minutes of dead air, we're down to like 3 listeners, so you guys are good.
Yeah, you're not really going to upset anyone at this point except us.
Perfect.
So the first segment, we talked a little bit about Entitlement Guy. If you want to read our blog series, it's on DetroitNet.org, the Don't Be That Guy series.
Well, and it got shot out from the ITinTheD Twitter.
Yeah, I posted that earlier.
Yeah, Entitlement Guy's a great read. We're also talking about the OpenCo, kind of like pub crawl for companies, if you don't mind me calling it that.
Well, yeah. So now that we're here in the 9:30 segment, so I guess let's do a little
now
deep
that
dive.
the kids are asleep,
right? So I mean, what's the date? What's the point? What's the cost? I mean, let's
Sure.
dive into some details. What should people be expecting to get out of it?
Yeah.
Are you still looking for companies to get involved, and what should they expect out of it at the end of the day? And what do you expect from them?
Yeah, no. So it's September 11th and 12th.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, OpenCo after dark.
Yeah.
September 11th and 12th. It's open to the public. The 11th is the VIP a plenary, which is a new term that I learned. Which plenary is part keynote, part panel discussion, part cocktail party. We expect to have the one and only mayor of Detroit there to sort of open the event. We're hoping to have a couple other high-profile speakers that I'm not going to name names yet. because we're very close to getting them locked on. We'll have a
we know how that goes. Trust us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Kwame got out of jail.
No, he will not be there. We also have a
I'm not going there.
We have a panel discussion. We'll have the founder of the OpenCo and CEO of Federated Media, John Battelle. He'll be there, sort of moderating the entire event. Now, the only catch with that is there's only 150 seats available to that event. So sign up now if you're interested. That has a $100 cost to it. The OpenCo event itself is open to the public and free of charge.
Really?
And that will take place on September 12th. All you have to do is go to the website, det.openco.us, and you can sign up. You can select your own sort of conference track. We're going to try to arrange these companies sort of according to similarities as well as geography. So if you're interested more in the arts and culture side, you can sort of follow that track. If you're more interested in the tech side, you can sort of follow that track along as well.
Well, so I guess our listeners are primarily in the tech demographic. I mean, so I don't know if you're open and talking about it yet, but what tech companies do you have floating around? Who are people going to want to come there to see?
We really started with the grassroots as much as possible. We didn't want this to be dominated by we didn't want this to be a General Motors, Ford, Chrysler. As much as those are wonderful and great and innovative companies in the city, we didn't want those headliners sort of to overpower the
Take
rest.
it over, essentially.
Yeah. So just running down a couple of quick lists, and now we do have Quicken Loans is a part. They're a host co, as the terminology of the event goes. So they'll be a part of this as well as
we're vaguely familiar with them.
Okay, we've got D-Hive, we've got Detroit Soup, we've got Next Tech, we've got Model D, we've got Pony Ride, Shinola signed on. Detroit Dirt, Detroit
sounds like Lollapalooza.
Detroit Denim Company. Yeah, exactly. And on the second stage, exactly. We've got 140 Proof. We've got
wait, 140 Proof? That sounds like my kind of company. What's that?
It is. It's a social media company.
Oh, well, then never mind.
Wrong kind of proof.
Yeah. So no, it's a fantastic sort of curated list. Again, I think we were all really amazed that there was over 50 companies, and I know during the break we were sort of talking about this. Nobody has turned us down. I mean, everybody we went and talked to, there was always interest. People have generally embraced this concept, and
it's free buzz for them. For
yeah,
the most part.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like free advertising.
Yeah, and I think the whole idea of again, just sort of some positive news in the city of Detroit right now to shine some light on the fact that there is great innovative work going on right now. These companies are very passionate and trying to individually set out and change the world in their own little way, and it's all taking place right here. I walked through the Madison building, and there's all these little startups in that building. And and these young people in their T-shirts and tattoos and doing all of this great work. I mean, it would look completely normal to find something like that in San Francisco or New York or Austin, Texas. But here, right here in Detroit, we've got this sort of cool, like, innovative hub of activity, and it was really inspiring to kind of experience that.
That's gonna be cool. Like, get a couple the food truck guys following you guys around, because I'm sure people are gonna get hungry, thirsty. I mean, are they catering it themselves, or what's logistics look like on that side?
Yes, I mean, you've got a free event with all these companies. I mean, believe me, we know there are logistics involved.
Yeah.
How are you handling? Is everybody just going their own way for lunch and coming back?
Well,
Is it?
Yeah, again, think sort of back to the Lollapalooza thing. You're kind of on your own, but there are outlets, and the whole idea is go down, experience the city.
Do not follow the guy with the.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with Noel Night in Detroit?
No.
Okay, it's an event that happens in December around Christmas time. Anyways, it sounds like the same type of thing where, like, all these businesses in downtown open up their doors, and it's essentially an open house for the city.
Yeah.
And people can wander in and out wherever, and they're essentially on their own. There's no...
Isn't that what Devil's Night used to be?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ouch.
way to derail that conversation.
Positive, Dave.
Right. I mean, it gets back to logistics. I mean, so you're saying everyone's out on their own, essentially for food.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the I mean, if it rains, but you're SOL. I mean, if there's no bus. I mean, we're talking about Detroit, right? So there's pockets of activity. There's pockets of businesses.
Right.
You're not going to have people walking from one section of Detroit to the other section of Detroit.
Well, agreed. And each of these events has its own theme. So again, starting back to last fall, they started this in San Francisco. That had its own sort of theme to it. I went to the one in New York City earlier this spring, and there was nobody that said, now get in a cab and go to the next thing, because you've curated your own tour, right? So I was the one who chose the companies I wanted to see. You get a printout with all of the addresses on it. Honestly, it's on you to make sure that you can find it.
Oh, so you guys don't even hand out any sort of flyers saying, or like a packet saying, okay, here's the businesses.
Dude, this is so us. We're that low maintenance. That's awesome.
Yeah, you've selected your own tour.
Dude, this is all a big scam. There's gonna be like 30 people showing up at Quicken Loans. They're like, "Who the hell are you guys with?
Who
Open
are
what?"
you?
I think you made the joke earlier. I mean, this is literally a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Are there like certain times you have to show up to get the tour?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So again,
good question.
When you go through the website, you'll have options to choose for. At the 9 o'clock hour, I've got 4 companies to choose from. At the 10 o'clock hour, I've got 3 companies to choose from. And you you choose your own adventure. You sort of print this packet out with the addresses on it. You get a wristband for security purposes. You get a lanyard that you hang around your neck that proves that you're part of this event. When you show up at the building, there will be a little bit of signage there to once again validate that this company is participating. It's part of it.
Sure.
And these companies are really excited to have people come in and again experience their company. It's partly promotional on their part. It's partly potential recruiting efforts. There's a lot of benefits that can kind of go around. It's
kind of like finding that cool bar in Cass Corridor you never knew existed. You walk in, you're like, oh my god, this is the greatest jukebox I've ever heard.
Yeah,
you got $2 Pabst Blue Ribbons, and this place is great. And
So you said it's on September 11th, right? So
11th is the kickoff. The 12th is the actual event itself.
All right, so that's a Thursday, the actual event. So it's a day in the life of a developer. So you're going to be interrupting businesses, but they're opening their doors, but they're not going to be essentially doing business on that same day, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point. It's to experience this company and these people in their native environment, right? To see and to sort of to feel the vibe of what it's like to work there.
Envision some signs.
You know what I thought the other day?
Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom.
I was driving.
Do not feed the developers.
You brought up an interesting point though, the recruiting aspect, and what a great way to really kind of market yourself as an awesome employer. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and again, if you're young and coming out of college, and you might not know that you can work in the tech field right here, close to home.
Yeah, and still stay in Detroit. Absolutely.
Dave, I had an idea for a business this weekend. That we get one of those open, like those New York style, like tour buses.
I'm so afraid of where this is going.
And then we drive around downtown and we look for hipsters.
Scotty already had the party bus.
We point out hipsters and we said, look, the hipsters in their natural environment. Watch them walk around and take pictures.
Like the hipster trap. With
Look at them as they take pictures of abandoned buildings and
you're gonna start
post
pissing
to
people
Instagram.
Off now.
That's fine.
I assure you, no hipsters are listening to this show.
There's one out there.
Well, yeah, she called in from Brooklyn once and we kicked her off.
Watch as they ride their bike to the.
That's right. Watch as they ride their cruiser bike to take Instagram photos of graffiti. That's telling them to get the hell out of Detroit.
Exactly. Hashtag schwa.
Actually, did you see that they tore up Mercury Bar? It's that hipsters go home, Southwest respect.
Well, that's where I was going to go because
exactly.
I read that article the other day, and I mean there's like this growing. Whatever. There's this anti-hipster sentiment, and Southwest was where they were talking about where there were all these, graffiti things showing up. There were like, hipsters no more, and hipsters with the circle and line through it. And
it's July. Put your flannel away.
Right.
All the scarves, Buddy Holly glasses, and like Pabst Blue Ribbon
as we drink PBR here in the
yarn
studio.
hats are
the
like
ironic
sold out.
tank top.
Right. Exactly. I own a wool hat, but it doesn't come out until November. Well, no, I mean it's the underachieving Detroit hipster guy Facebook page, which I think we all love.
Did we not talk about the Crisco, by the way, on the Fist of Detroit? Did you not see that?
No. Yeah, that came up the day that we were downtown. If it was already down by the time that
they can't pick up garbage.
They can't pick up garbage, but they can pull away a giant Crisco can. I don't know if you guys heard about this. So the Fist of Detroit, the whole Joe Louis thing. An artist came along and put a giant thing of Crisco
with a fist imprint,
like to scale. like a giant thing of
that
Crisco.
Takes talent.
Absolutely.
With the fist imprint in the top of the Crisco because he wanted to symbolize easing the pain to Detroiters.
Kind of impressed.
It was great.
And it was like a midnight mission.
Oh yeah, he dropped it off. They said he dropped it off at like 8 in the morning.
And nobody stopped.
Hold on. We'll explain it to you off the air.
Yeah, we need to give an anatomy lesson at least.
Now she gets it. How long did that stay out there?
Oh, he dropped it off at like 8 in the morning, and by like 1 o'clock it was gone. Oh. So yeah, they can't get the trash picked up, but they can remove art or some reasonable facsimile.
Took that long for the police to actually respond to that call.
Right.
There's Mount Detroit with 3,000 tires is still there, but
yeah, we're anxiously awaiting the RoboCop statue, but the giant can of Crisco.
Yeah, rumor is that's halfway finished, but we have yet to see that.
They're done.
Speaking of which, I watched RoboCop 2 this weekend. It was an awful, awful movie. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I digress.
Well, wait, what were we talking about?
I don't know. I almost don't know how to recover from that. Holy,
you could segue into
Wolverine. About Crisco.
We were.
Well, all right. Okay, I'll try to bring this back
we
to
should
reality.
Just unplug the microphones again.
Yeah, and we're out.
Dead air.
Yeah, no. So, all right, shift of topic just to get it the hell away from Bob. So, August 15th, we haven't talked about yet. We are doing an event. We have become known for doing events all around the Metro Detroit area,
except for
this is
squared.
Yeah, this is our. God, I hate that.
Who calls it that?
Everybody does.
Exactly. I'm an A2.
Wait, do people in Ann Arbor actually call it A squared?
Everybody does. Absolutely.
Seriously?
Yep. A with the little 2.
Because they're all college.
Do they write
kids
it that
and
way?
hipsters.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
All the time.
Like, what do they think they're saving?
They even have shirts. I have no idea.
Is it actually a marketing thing?
Absolutely.
For the school or for the city or
It's
both?
For both.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely. It's
Sorry,
ridiculous, but they do it.
We're poo-pooing the city before we even talk about the events.
That's okay. Let's get past
We're never
that.
going to make it out alive. So,
anyways,
so we have tried to hit Ann Arbor for many, many years now, and it's never worked out for one reason or another because we couldn't get venues lined up with us, and so Mark basically called our bluff and said, okay, look, I found the venue. I found the room.
He made it easy for us.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to pay for food. Are you going to come do an event here, or am I just going to be hanging out in the back room of Connor O'Neill's and eating all this? Yeah, and then.
So are you placing people in Ann Arbor these days, or what's
absolutely. All over Michigan.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
and Ohio.
Google's out that way. We don't talk about Ohio here.
No,
I know. Sorry again, Elise.
Sorry.
I talk about Ohio.
Again, we'll explain the fist and Crisco to you after the show.
Somebody mute her microphone.
Well, isn't Toledo Detroit Junior anyway?
It's the armpit of America.
Right.
Armpit.
It's like Canada. It's the 51st state. We own it.
Right.
No, but so August 15th we're going to be at Connor O'Neill's, which is right on Main Street in Ann Arbor. The good folks of Wolverine are laying out a food spread to hopefully offset some of the one beer at a time that takes place while we're networking Detroit, and it's really
thank
cool.
you very much for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys have been around. Well, you particularly have been around through several incarnations now. Wolverine just happens to be the most recent one.
Yep, that's where I've landed. 18 years now, and I'm still doing it.
Not at Wolverine.
No, not at Wolverine. But Wolverine's been around 25 years. So they've been around a long time.
Well, and that we've had a good relationship with them for years. I mean, that's one of the reasons. When you were looking and they were looking for a recruiter, that's why that match made sense to hook you guys up together. So I mean, talk a little bit about what Wolverine's going on and what you guys are looking for, and hopefully what you're looking to find on the 15th.
Yep, and I won't bore you because I know you guys get extremely bored with the whole drawn out advertisement.
No, we're good.
No,
we do a lot of we do contract to hire and perm placement. We average probably anywhere between 60 to 70.
Hold on, we do have a recruiter in studio, and the one thing we did forget again was the phone number.
What is it?
I don't know what the phone number. You're the one responsible for.
I think he just wanted to cut me off.
Mark, go ahead.
Okay.
We'll look for the phone number.
Absolutely.
Ignore Dave. We'll shush him.
So part of our business is contract to hire. We also do perm placement as well. Everything is IT, and we focus just on Michigan. I mean, that's been the core business for 25 years with this company. So. We have a lot of onesie-twosie, your app development firms, small shops where you're looking for, 1 or 2 placements. But then we also have master vendor list, too, as well, that we're a part of with, the DTEs and the Henry Fords and the University of Michigan and things like that, too, as well. So, but, yeah, always hiring, always looking for great talent. I think you found it.
Yeah, no, so the phone number in case anybody wants to call in and yak with, either whether it's Mark or wants to talk about OpenCo or has a question for us, the number is 313-462-0107. I swear to God we'll give that out again when it actually means something, and we'll try to answer the phones. I'm keeping
or you
an
can
eye
get
out
us
here.
on, Twitter, at ITinTheD.
Right.
And honestly, this goes back to the comment about people only wanting to drive 5 miles for a job. You know, everybody's really picky, and these skill sets are in high demand. But you guys have not been out to Ann Arbor in an extremely long time, if ever. Never.
No.
And
no,
so
we've
when,
never,
when we
personally
attend,
been out there professionally or with Detroit Net.
Yep.
No,
this will be our first event.
When we attend your events in Royal Oak or on the Northeast side, I mean, a lot of those folks will not drive to Ann Arbor, and we have a hard time finding those candidates.
Well,
to fill
it's a 275 kryptonite, just
Yep.
like that's a 8 mile kryptonite. Yeah.
So I am thrilled that you guys are going to finally come out there, because I know we're going to have a turnout that's going to be, just as
It'll
large
be
as
interesting
some
for
of
us
those
too,
other
because
events.
I know, for that reason alone, we're going to see a lot of fresh faces for that.
Oh, absolutely.
For that reason alone.
Well, it'll be like when we went out to Flint, right? There's
it's a whole different crowd.
I thought we agreed to never speak of that again.
That's right. That's dead to me. It's dead to me.
Baron von Shush.
Baron von Shush.
Yeah, one does not simply shush Detroit Net in general. No, cool. So, I mean, what kind of gigs are you looking for? I mean, so, or what kind of people are you looking for?
Let me guess, .NET developers.
Yeah, .NET developers. .NET guys, Java guys.
Java developers.
What
Linux
is the deal with
admin.
.NET? Like that's like a resurgence.
It's the highest demand skill set right now.
And
the funny part
unbelievable.
about, I mean, these guys can speak of it too. I think every staffing company out there, I mean, that is in high demand, and they can ask their own price, they can ask their own terms, they can do whatever they want, because it's
all
it's
skill
just,
levels, entry to senior.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And just
Attention
people
history majors. Go learn .NET.
Attention.
Might want to go back to school.
Well, no.
a little bit extreme. but
Attention,
yes.
Java developers, for crying out loud!
True.
This is a wake-up call.
True.
I mean, if you were to rewind the clock 10 years, it'd be Java.
Yep.
It's the pendulum has swung completely the other
And the thing
direction.
with that is, you've got people that only want to do contract because they know they can make the most money doing only
Right.
contract.
It sounds like 10 years ago where these Java guys were doing nothing but contract because
Yep,
they could
and
bounce
that's
from
it.
job to job to job.
Exactly. They get a different environment, a little bit different skill set. I mean, look at all the .NET technologies you have out there now.
I keep hearing I wanted to learn Microsoft, but it's like, if they're paying, learn it.
Yep.
Like it's there's no like, I'm cool because I do Linux. I'm cool because I'm
Yep.
Well, I
big
mean,
iron.
we touched on this a little bit earlier about your clientele, your individual customers' industries. Is it healthcare? Is it automotive? Is it all over the board?
It's everything, and I would say automotive is probably the least amount right now.
Okay.
Out of everything, but no, we touch every industry really. I mean, it's a very broad spectrum when you talk about the.
So what
the
open
type of
positions? I
industries.
mean, what's out there right now? I mean, in terms of numbers wise, I mean, 50, 60, 150, 180. What are you guys looking at in terms of?
Right now, our openings probably average between 60 to 80 openings at any given point.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a small firm with a small sales staff.
59 of them are .NET developers.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And the other one's an iOS developer.
Yep. And every time you get that call, you're like, uh-oh, it's another .NET job.
Right.
So you submit the same candidates.
True.
Note to college kids, study Microsoft.net.
And mobile app development, that's another one, too, that's huge right now.
Right.
Every kid coming out of college, I tell them, learn to do
Well, I looked
mobile
at
apps.
they had a thing on
Absolutely.
what Crane's like top mobile app developers, and I never heard of 18 out of the 20 companies. Were like, what? Who? Which is telling you something that these guys are sprouting up. Like,
There's so many new companies in that industry. It's crazy.
Yeah. That only
And
specialize
in Detroit.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like their core business. So
well, and it makes. I mean, even our good old buddy Kara Jo, was spouting off today about a site that she was working on making responsive and trying to
It's all about
mobilize it.
mobile.
Right. And I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and I've had those arguments internally where do you do a quote unquote mobile site? Do you do an Android app? Do you do an iOS app? Do you do all that kind of stuff? I mean, how much? What, if anything, do you guys from a Wolverine perspective, I used to do it for Great Lakes all the time back in the day when somebody would come along and say, hey, I want a Java developer. Okay, why? And then you whittle it down and okay, you don't actually need a Java developer. You need some sysadmin that can write some Perl script and take care of you and be done with it. So I mean, do you get it? Do you guys have to do any kind of that? Kind of balancing with clients where yeah, I know you think you want like a really senior .NET guy, but what you really need, or a mobile dev, but what you really need is to take a look at this, and this from a technology standpoint.
yeah, but that's understanding their client base, because a lot of them make those applications for various clients, so it depends on the platform that they're on. So once you understand that, they can cross back and forth. And now they've got platforms where you develop it on I forgot the one's called a Chameleon, I believe, and
Right.
a couple others that once you develop it in that, it'll go across to any mobile app platform, whether it's Android or iPhone or whatever. So it's very, I guess, versatile in that sense that they could go with whatever way they want now. It's just learning how to do the actual development work.
Right.
So
So August 15th, we're going to be finally triumphantly or voyaging into Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor, thank you for calling it that.
And we are. I mean, we're getting a lot of good feedback from people, either whether it's on the site, via email, on Twitter, where
most
I'm
of it's
posting
like,
on LinkedIn.
Finally.
Yep.
Honestly, I think it's something we need to be consistent about because when we started our foray into coming down in downtown Detroit, right, our first events were pretty awful, and now we're packing in places like Detroit.
And awful from the standpoint where it was, they were awfully attended. I mean, it was
Right,
20,
right.
30 people tops. It was, and now, like, our last event at DBC, Detroit Beer Co., I mean, we basically filled that top floor. We had a ton of people there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's good to see. And, I mean, hopefully we'll have I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of anticipating a little bit of chaos at Connor O'Neill's at this point, which is nice. And I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, the details on that event and everything else we do, as always, are out on our site at DetroitNet.org, or you can hit ITinTheD.com and it'll take you there too. Our events is one of the tabs right at the top.
And there's a room called the Celtic Room. That's where it's being held. It's kind of to the right of the bar when you walk in. So
that is phenomenal.
Yep.
Is it a German place? Is it?
Yeah, it's
Get
German.
out, Bob. Just get out.
It's Swiss Hungarian.
Nice.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Ah. We are up on a break, by the way. It is coming up on the 10 o'clock hour.
That flies by fast, doesn't it?
This is the IT and the D show, Radio X. We'll see you in about 5.
Are you okay? I think so. Boy, who knows what else is in this swamp?
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Not now!
Okay.
Now we are.
Now we are.
Nice.
Now
And we are back. I was just saying, I feel like I want to go running in the snow and like lifting my family up with a wheelbarrow and like
Carrying a big giant log.
and carrying a log.
What is he drinking over there?
Red Bull.
It gives him wings.
He has 2 giant Red Bulls. Have you finished them?
Both of them, yeah, they're gone.
See, and this
They
is why
were gone in the first 10 minutes.
this is why I love our members and Ray in particular, because Ray
he emailed us. The phone
Ray
number.
just shot. Yeah, did he?
Yeah,
shoot? Yeah,
he emailed us to everyone. Thank you, Ray, for that. By the way.
For the love of God, add this into your contacts.
What is the phone number?
Our call-in number is 313-462-0107.
If you want to catch us on Twitter too,
And
it's
nobody's
at
called.
ITinTheD. I don't think anyone is anyone still listening. I don't know.
Yeah, my family went to bed.
But we got like I said, we've been talking about Entitlement Guy. We got Jason here from OpenCo talking about a great new business kind of expo. What do you want? I don't know. Let's not call it anything.
Tech conference sort of meets rock festival.
Meets pub crawl, meets yeah. No, it sounds great.
Yeah.
We got Mark here from Wolverine Staffing, and we got Elise and April here from Brightwing, who haven't said much. So
That's right, Brightwing.
This is your show now.
We just kind of crashed this party.
3, 2, 1, you're on.
They heard.
And we had Russ from Brightwing in for our debut premiere
I'm
episode.
sorry.
You know what? For what it's worth, I mean, he's an okay guy.
I'm kidding. I'm just giving him a hard time.
I know.
We love Russ.
It wouldn't be a night if we weren't be able to poke Russ with a sharp stick
or a dull stick.
Maybe we can get him to call in if we, give him hard enough time.
Who are you talking about?
Really? Come on.
4-year-old.
Get over it.
So, I mean, from a Brightwing perspective, I mean, you're both in the marketing realm.
Yes.
So, I mean, what are you hearing here that, either we're, because we freely admit that we're idiots when it comes to marketing. Like, we honestly,
we've been doing this wrong for about 10 years.
Oh, absolutely. like every time I'm on, 96.3 or, anything else, and people show up at the event, they're like, God, I've never heard of you guys before this morning. And I'm like, really?
We had a drink with a media guy last Friday, and he basically told us we're the stupidest human beings alive.
Oh, yeah. It broke my heart.
Oh, that's horrible.
No, seriously, because we're sitting there and he's like, yeah, so, what kind of web traffic are you guys getting? What kind of, numbers? And so I pull it up and I'm reading it and I'm telling them, what our average visitors are and what our page views are. And
Hey, from the stats,
Jeremiah,
from the stats,
Excellent.
from the listeners you have on your show, it sounds like you're doing pretty well. So
well, but so when you talk about the average engagement, no, actually it's really kind of freaky. So how long people spend on the site, and he's like, he called BS, and he's like, there's no way. And so I I showed him the log report. I'm like, here's my phone. That's the live stats. It is what it is. He's like, okay, you understand that advertisers and other companies are not going to believe this without some kind of secondary data. Like, there's just no way. Like, you guys are.
Yeah, but do you guys really care? I mean, you look at the numbers of the people you get coming to your events.
That's why I say we're doing this wrong all the time. Yeah.
Yep. Well, the thing is,
it's working for
on
you.
On our website, they say we average like 20 minutes for a unique.
No way. So they're reading your stuff.
Well,
reading
and
listening.
from a page views per user, and God, we're getting so nerdy at this moment.
No, we love it.
Somebody
we
pull
love
up
views
somebody
per user.
Right? No, like a page views per user perspective, it's like somewhere between 6 and 8 on
yeah,
average.
that's fantastic. I think you guys are doing all right.
And if you're at 30 seconds, you know you're doing something wrong. It's like, whoop, see you later.
Yeah, exactly. Our bounce rate's actually pretty low.
And you're saying the free press average is like 2 minutes?
All right, so we'll change the subject.
Where's my Samuel L. Jackson sound clip that I can play?
This is interesting to me. This is part of my world too. So
keep going. You're marketing, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, the crickets were only a joke, but I mean, we didn't want to get too deep into it. But the whole point is true. I mean, the page views and the fact that people are on the site reading, and we're not taking advantage of it. But that's not what we're all about.
You guys have an awesome following, so.
Well, and I mean, it does. I mean, it blows my mind. Everybody out there listening, we're down to 4 states where we don't have listeners now, and it's like.
Well, you know what the coolest part about that is that people know that there's awesome things happening in Detroit and the stuff that you're doing with Good. I mean, that's fantastic stuff that people don't know about. That there's great things actually happening here, and businesses want to come here.
Chicago, Florida, California makes sense because the people that move away and maybe want to wax nostalgia.
Yeah, the snowbirds.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the Idahos and the make no sense.
What 4 states don't you have?
Kansas is no.
It's Kansas, West Virginia.
Well, you're a little offensive for Kansas.
Well, like I said,
we have Hawaii and Alaska.
We mentioned Evolution on our first show, so I'm pretty sure that's why Kansas banned us. It's Kansas and then Nebraska. We don't have any listeners.
Who's in Nebraska?
My friend's from Nebraska. I thought we could find someone.
Nebraska's got the same population as Canada. There's like 14 people there.
And then West Virginia.
And they're all on the border of another state.
Right. We have no listeners in West Virginia. And Alaska is that we don't have any listeners in Alaska.
Oh, we don't? I thought we had Alaska.
We have Hawaii, which is absolutely cool because we need to launch MauiNet. I really think we do.
We actually need to have an event in Maui.
I'll go. I'll help organize.
Yes, yeah, that would be good. Can you sponsor that one?
That one tiny town in Alaska, there was Facebook campaigns for Pitbull.
Where they can see Russia from their house?
Yes. But there's like Facebook campaigns for that artist Pitbull, and they said the town with the most likes will get Pitbull to go out there, and so they started doing.
Didn't he?
Yeah, they voted for the most remote place that he could go, and
can we leave him there? Was that part of the deal?
As a one-way ticket.
Hey, it's not Pitbull, but Brightwing is giving away a hot air balloon ride right now.
Hello.
I did see that tweet. Yes.
All you have to do is upload a photo. You have to upload a photo to our Facebook page, Go Brightwing, and anything that makes you rise and shine in the morning. So it could be your kids, your dog. Hey, I'm just saying a hot air balloon ride. Have any of you ever done this?
Have we not explained our demographic to you?
Well, we've got Slim Jims and PBR here.
I know. It was cheap.
You can take a picture of Slim Jims and PBR.
Hey, you might win. I bet all the IT people would vote for that. It's on Facebook. Go Brightwing.
Sweet
Go
Jesus.
Brightwing. I'm looking it up now.
It was cheap. I'm a marketing person. What can I say? I got to get in there. It was a perfect segue. Pitbull, hot air balloons.
How is that a segue? I don't know.
And what makes you get up in the morning?
Rise and shine, I think was the term.
You're right.
Your PBR.
This is why we had this conversation after the kids go to bed.
This is like RoboCop 2 all over again. I have no idea how to recover from this.
It was definitely not that bad.
I don't even know. We were talking about marketing, I thought.
Well, okay, so upload a photo of whatever gets people up and running, and they can win a hot air balloon.
Most people think of like their kids, maybe their picture of their dog, their coffee. You know, I don't know where you guys were going with
just think of something and put it up there.
Is it like, winner take all, or is there a top 3?
Yeah, you have to get the most votes.
You have to vote.
Who's voting? You people at Brightwing or
is it an internet vote?
There's a vote.
Yeah, it's internet vote. The
public.
It's
internet. Oh, for crying out loud!
Excellent.
Because
we
the Detroit Net Public.
Yeah, I was gonna say we became most valuable blogger through an internet vote through CBS.
Is scary.
Is that bot still running?
Oh man!
No, now it's busy making Magic Mike's girlfriend. I don't know,
Fox
whatever
Sports
Fox Sports Girl of the Year.
You guys didn't actually think this one through at Brightwing, did you? No, we're just kidding.
Well, thankfully, Elise can log in and maybe delete anything that's super inappropriate, so I think we have it covered.
getting back to the whole marketing thing, I mean, we do. We realize we're completely clueless about this. You know, I mean, is there anything you're hearing? I'm sure you're open to ideas and advice. You know, I mean, is there anything you're hearing so far that maybe people haven't thought of, you know, that they should be taking advantage of? I mean, I know Elise has been kind of, you know, beating me on the head every 3 days, you know, so what can we help with? What can we help with? And I genuinely don't even know yet. But, I mean, what have you heard so far that maybe people haven't thought of and should be thinking of?
You know, I think something that, you know, that always really baffles my mind is that people don't understand that you still have to get out there and actually talk to people in person and, you know, build relationships and
you mean
introduce
networking?
yourselves. Right, exactly. And, you know, with all this awesome technology that we have.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, it does.
Social.
Exactly. You can be social online, but you still have to go out there and still meet people. And I think people forget that. And even as marketers, we kind of have to remind ourselves, you know, we're all people. And,
we had one of our first Detroit Net events at Blackfin. I'll never forget this. We had like a social media ninja guru, whatever you want to call her. And so we finally got her to come to one of our things. And all she did was sit at a table and tweet on how much fun she was having at our event and spoke with no one. It's like, you don't get it.
Well, that was the whole point of the whole Instagram college humor video thing is, you know, people are too busy taking pictures of the event instead of actually taking part of the event.
The new craze now is taking pictures of people taking pictures of their food.
Of course.
It's like the meta Yelp.
Absolutely.
Well, and which actually fits because, I mean, you know, again, you know, next week we're going to have
Annette.
Thank you, God, the community manager from Yelp.
Budicello. Sorry.
No,
Just keep going.
no, it won't be. It won't be a 1950s beach movie.
I did watch Stand By Me this weekend too.
You had a lot of time on your hands.
I did.
Well, you switched jobs. So
I did. I thought I'd do the professional thing and give a 2-week notice at my old employer, and they cut me off like within 5 minutes of me texting that I quit.
Okay,
Who
first of
texts
all,
that
you
they quit?
text. What is up?
Bob
That's
does.
like a Seinfeld thing.
No, you know, it was an email. I said I text just to push humor out, but I sent an email out, just resignation out. You know, because you have to. How are you going to do? I'm not going to send a Word doc.
You can't do it in person?
Actually,
Were you working from home that day?
I was. One of the
sales guy. He always works from home.
One of the funniest resignations I ever saw, and he burned a lot of bridges, was he took a corporate letterhead, you know, from like email when they blast come out for like the president,
right?
Put his picture in it and says so and so resigns from Hewlett Packard, and wrote a press release and sent it to HP-all. Like 130,000 employees, and it's like,
good
what
luck finding another job. I hope he's retiring.
He works with me now.
he's actually your boss.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, today was day one for my new job, and it's amazing. I've worked for like the 3 biggest IT companies in the world, and every single one of them can't image a laptop to save their life. So I spent 8 hours today trying to image a laptop.
At Brightwing, we talk a lot about onboarding. How was your whole onboarding experience?
I was on Bangladeshi tech support for 6 of the 8 hours.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Definitely a no-no.
It was an amazing experience. You know what? It is what it is. Tomorrow we're doing a bunch of telepresence with guys around, you know, because my whole team's around the country. No one's in Detroit. So we're you know, kind of live and die with telepresence and WebEx and all that good stuff. So
you guys talk about that a lot. I mean, is that an issue for you, or is that
no? That's one of the solutions that we offer. A lot of onboarding. You know, we find that a lot of the companies that we've worked with over the past 40 years that we've been in business have a really hard time bringing in new employees. Like 101, make sure that they have a laptop that's working when they first come in.
Laptop was there at least. I mean,
That's
I've been
good.
at companies where you had to wait 4 or 5 days.
That's good.
And, you know.
But then other things, you know, like how do you introduce them to the rest of their team and all the fun stuff that goes along with, you know, getting into a new job. So
no, I was on. You know, we had a 2:00 team call. I introduced myself, told everyone my story. So, I mean, it's better than when I went.
Yeah, weren't they thinking about sending you an HD cam and you poo pooed that?
Oh yeah,
so
like
you don't want me in HD.
Next thing don't send a group photo next time.
No pink fuzzy bunny slippers.
Elise once sent to our whole company when she first started. There was like this awesome bacon deal on this website that she likes.
I'll take it from here. So Newski's bacon is phenomenal. It's like the best bacon I've ever had.
Have you ever had bad bacon?
Yeah, is there such a thing as bad bacon?
The Hillshire Farm stuff you get like at Meijer. Like it's just kind of like once you have good bacon, then you're like, hold on, what have I been doing literally my whole
and
life?
OpenCo just lost Meijer as a sponsor.
Yeah, you can go ahead and cross them off. And Hillshire Farms. Anyone else?
Johnsonville.
Sent this email. They sent me this deal around Christmas that was like buy any product, get a free pound of bacon, and I was like, just saying that like. You can buy anything and you won't be disappointed for the holidays. Just you should buy this. And I was not embarrassed at all.
Company-wide email, you get free bacon.
Didn't get fired. They still kept me.
Speaking of just to go on the onboarding thing, The last employer I had actually shipped out like 50 people to Palo Alto, California, and had a class taught by a third party, and like spent an entire day on like an elevator pitch, and it was probably one of the biggest wastes of money. So like the with me being in the Detroit office today, kind of just trying to get my laptop up was a way better use of time than the garbage that I had to deal with over there. I mean, granted, you build up peer relationships and kind of you always have this camaraderie. It's kind of like being frat brothers, being in the same like jumpstart class. That's what we kind of But for the most part, it was complete.
Did you have to get a new Delta Tau Chi name or?
Flound. No, yeah.
Well, and related to that, I mean, speaking of onboarding, I mean, back in the day when Dave and I were at Great Lakes together, I was a staff development manager, and the soft skills were a big part of the onboarding process. Is that still a thing now where you have a lot of expats coming in?
Oh, yeah. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a candidate market. So if you can't find a way to immediately engage these people and keep them on board and keep them interested in your business, you've lost them.
Well, and Brightwing isn't the only focus you guys have. I mean, there's, 4 companies that you deal with across the board?
Yeah, we do marketing for 4 companies. There's Trichem, which is an industrial maintenance equipment company, and then Javis, they do construction, and but Brightwing's mostly what we work on.
Right.
Superior's newer. It's not.
Yeah, they do like epoxy floor and stuff. So it's kind of across the board.
Has anyone ever had a good first day of work though? It's typically one of the worst days. You have to go in, fill out all those forms.
Yeah,
it's pretty awful.
You never get anything.
Well, it's
done.
like, being the new kid at high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The best part of the day is usually getting taken to lunch by your manager if you're lucky.
Yeah,
I got taken to Breadbasket Deli and had a corned beef, number 17. That was phenomenal.
All right, I have to say, Brightwing's probably the best place to work then because for the entire week you go out to lunch with different people in your office.
Oh, Russ was shooting me texts every day, and he was like, "Dude, I'm
lunch.
at wherever." He's like, I'm at another lunch.
And our people aren't cheap. Like, they want to go to cool places in Detroit. So
I started like the week before Punchki Day, and my lunches were spread out. So one of the teams took me down to Polonia and Hamtramck, and we had a blast. We took off at like 10:30 and got back at like 5 o'clock. It was like the best day of my life.
It's like you show up the next day. Wait, I actually have to work now.
Yeah, and then you show up the second week. They're like, "All right, get to work."
Yeah,
that's like the Wolves. It's like the good old days with the commander, where one of the owners of the old company that we used to work with, Great Lakes, would walk out of his office once a month and just announce to the random staff at large, "All right, I need Miller, Scotch, and tamales. Who's coming to Mexican Village with me? Oh, pick me, sir. Pick me."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, whoever would fit in the minivan, we'd end up down in Detroit for like 6 hours.
Well, and I guess we're on a food topic, so let's kind of keep it somewhat relevant. Well, no, so I mean, I want to come back.
Nice segue.
It's always about food, isn't it?
Well, no, I want to bring it back to August 15th and the event and everything we've got going on. So I mean, what is? I mean, Conor O'Neill's obviously Irish pub.
Yep.
I mean, is it like right in the? I'm not an Ann Arbor aficionado. I mean, is it?
Shame on you. So many great places in Ann Arbor.
275 Kryptonite. I'm sorry.
Come on.
No, I mean, is it? Are people going to have a hard time finding it? Like,
No.
what's parking like?
No. There is a huge parking lot directly behind the bar, so there's no problem with parking. There's also a parking structure probably right around the corner, which is easy to get to as well. And then there's Main Street, so plenty of parking. Ann Arbor, everything is walking distance.
Plenty of parking.
Plenty.
Is the parking free?
Ooh, no, probably not.
All right, just have to ask. You got to be prepared.
Well,
there's
I mean,
meters.
we're used to that. I mean, most of our events are in Royal Oak where there was no free parking.
Yeah, there's no free parking there. There's meters. There is parking garages, so you will have to pay.
Well,
absolutely.
I guess that's a good segue over to OpenCo. I mean, how are you guys organizing everybody arriving and parking and everything for your stuff?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest items that the good folks at Quicken recommended to us. They said, you guys really need to put some thought into how you're gonna get these people down here, how they're gonna park, how they're gonna get from place to place. So we're still working out those details. Honestly, our expectation is you're gonna get yourself down there. The best we can, we're gonna provide you options for transit. So whether it's Detroit Bus Company or Uber or there's some other alternative means.
What's Uber?
Uber?
What's
Am I the only one that doesn't know?
It's a German word.
Pretty much,
it's
yes.
a U with two umlauts.
Yeah.
BER.
It's great. You should download the app. It's sort of like a Metro car service, and it's all based on your phone. You sort of set up an account. You click it, say, I need a ride. It'll say there'll be a black Suburban coming to you in 7 minutes, and it shows a picture of the driver and a 5-star rating.
and then he gets there. The best part is he takes you to your destination. It's all billed to your account. There's no worrying about how much do I tip this guy or what.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
We actually used that for a bachelor party last week, and it is phenomenal.
Did you use it in Detroit?
Yeah. Uber Detroit just
excellent.
recently just opened their doors, and it's fantastic. I mean, your credit card's on file, so there's no worrying about fares or anything like that.
And I must say, the cab services have definitely improved in Detroit as well.
Yeah.
So cabs are
We
everywhere.
have, there's cabs in Detroit.
I was gonna say, I don't know that I've ever actually
I'm
caught a
telling you.
cab in Detroit.
Oh no, there are plenty.
No, you know what? It's
And they're
great
safe.
if you're at a hotel or at Comerica. It's great. When you're not, it's not great.
True.
Yeah.
Like if you're just at a little bar or something?
Yep.
Right, and you sit out. I mean, where were we at? We're like, let's
Jacoby's.
Let's hail a cab and like crickets.
Yeah. Well, and the bartender was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to call one for you."
Well,
That's how
Jason,
that's
did you
gonna
say
go.
that you did hook up with Detroit Bus Company as well to try to get them on board? for this?
They're a hostco. I don't know exactly if they're going to be providing transportation or not, but again, we're still working out some of those details. We're going to make it again as seamless as possible for people that want to get around.
What's the website to find you again? Is it?
It's det.openco.us.
Gotcha.
So
I want to be dangermo.us.
Just,
I want to
just
be.
stop talking. Let him.
It's not too
From a
late.
marketing standpoint, I guarantee it's taken. So, but there's still slots open for people who want to go and be a part of it?
Oh yeah. We're there's no cap on registrations. I mean, again, you just go on there, say, yeah, I want to participate.
Really? So, I mean, what are you going to do if like 300 people say, "Yeah, I want to go to Quicken at 9:00 in the morning"?
That caps. So that does cap. So yeah. Great question.
That would actually happen?
Yeah, you'll have Kevin Bacon in a military uniform.
Yeah.
Remain calm.
Yeah, no, trust me. Number one, that'd be a good problem to have. Number two, we are going to cap the number of people that can go to each session. So again, more incentive for you to sort of get in, get registered.
And it's free, so go sign up and pick your stuff and be done.
Well,
with
this
it.
is the first time you're having it in Detroit. Like, what were your experiences in other cities? Did you have that problem in other where there was like some city or some companies were like, the magnets, and others were like crickets?
Yeah, I think it's funny. So I in the digital marketing business, I went to more of sort of the nerdier data tech companies. So
Sure.
I don't know if I was going maybe on the same path as others, but. The most people we saw at any one event was that maybe like 20, 25 people that would show up. So honestly, if we get those numbers in Detroit, that'll be a win. Our expectations we're going to get around 3,000 people to sign up for this, and hopefully we'll have some in their neighborhood between 1,000 and 2,000 that actually make it down there. And even if you can go see a couple of things, you don't have to devote a whole day. If you can devote a few hours in the morning, or you see something in the afternoon that's interesting to you, again, you won't normally get this kind of access to be able to go into one of these companies, hear from one of the founders or co-founders, a quick presentation, see the space, have a chance to ask some questions and move on to the next thing. It's great. Great opportunity for you to experience that, and it's great exposure for the company.
Are you guys doing anything like nationally to like show other places what we're doing here in Detroit, that you guys are having this great event?
So we are trying to sort of hit the publicity train, and we released we had a press release the other day. We're doing some outbound marketing and trying to let people know about this. There is a larger OpenCo sort of initiative, and there's another one coming in San Francisco a few weeks after ours. So again, but back to the beginning, it was San Fran, New York, London, and Detroit were the first four, and then it's going to go and start making the loop again. So there is sort of a national footprint, but each event is activated locally.
Because if you guys were only doing this on the 19th, we'd have the perfect after party for you.
Oh, no. Exactly. What's the 19th?
So the 19th is going to be our next big
Andrews
off-the-wall sick event at St. Andrews Hall. We did one back on because we're awfully clever on 31313.
Nice.
And we got close to we were up over 700 people.
Nice.
And it was very, very cool.
Well, we are up on a break. I think after this is going to be our last segment. After the break, we're going to be talking more about RoboCop 2, what gets you up in the morning, and all this other good fun, good stuff.
Good bacon.
This is the ITinTheD show, Raw Radio X.
And more bacon.
Yeah, I'd like to place an order.
What you like?
Yeah, I'd like 3 orders of garlic chicken.
And then?
And then 3 orders of white rice.
And then?
And then... Oh, hey, you guys want soup? Sure. Yeah, 3 orders of wonton soup.
And then?
Oh, some fortune cookies.
Classic Dave. We are back live. The ITinTheD show, Raw Radio X. Yeah, but this is
for Ray and the rest of our one listener.
This is episode 8. Insert witty title here. But yeah, you got Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. Been talking to Jason from OpenCo, cool event coming downtown. We've been talking to Mark from Wolverine Technical Staffing, and we've also been talking to April and Elise from Brightwing, talking about marketing. So. Last segment, we promised talking about more bacon in RoboCop 2. So,
well, I mean,
and Frank Stallone songs from Rocky IV.
Which one was?
But again, during our break, as typical fashion, some of our best conversations were happening when the microphones were off.
Yep.
So we were talking to Jason again about the OpenCo event coming up, and you were kind of getting into the event, the kickoff event the night before.
Sure. So yeah, it's at the Madison Building, which you have if you haven't been, it's a fantastic building, a lot of energy, great bunch of startup companies, as well as a few established companies like Twitter is housed there currently, as well as Tube Mogul.
Well, Jay, let me ask you this: our events are free, and we work very hard on kind of defining on who should go and who shouldn't.
Yeah.
So that was one of the key things too. Is who would best benefit from hitting this of your event?
Yeah, what's your target audience?
And who's gonna waste their time? Because obviously you don't want someone to go there and say, hey, this event completely sucked.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the right target market.
Yeah. No, I would expect this would appeal very much to the marketing and sales people in town.
I'm sorry, just real quick. God bless Mike Dennis, who just shot out on Twitter a note out to AK Alaska AK Coder on Twitter and said, hey, go check out the ITinTheD podcast. They need a listener from Alaska.
Awesome.
Well, you got it. Now you're only not in 3 states.
So, anyways,
no,
Jason.
yeah. So, marketing, salespeople, anyone interested in the tech field, anywhere, anyone with a passion for the city of Detroit. I think you're going to have a wide spectrum. To be honest with you, I think the sweet spot will be sort of in that marketing and sort of ad tech type of field, but.
What an awesome opportunity. Sorry to kind of budge in here, but for students that are about to graduate that really want to learn about opportunities and things that are happening in Detroit, they want to stay here. They want to stay in Detroit and kind of know what's going on, what kind of cool companies are here, opportunities available to them when they graduate.
Well, it's almost like you're able to interview a company without interviewing for the job.
Exactly.
Seeing how the environment is.
Well,
I think that's the whole point of the event.
Exactly.
Correct?
What a great opportunity, because when we all graduated college mid-90s,
oh my God, it was terrible.
It was a ghost town. It was Wild Wild West.
Right.
Well, not only that, but you had no idea what was here. I mean, you had to go and do all kinds of research and figure out,
submit
where
to monster.com and pray.
Yeah.
Right.
So now it's
realistically in the mid-90s it was
monster.com and pray.
Chrysler, Ford,
right.
EDS.
That's where I started at EDS. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So I think as much as we can, I think the student angle is a great angle, and if there's any professors or anyone listening, who are high school teachers even, I think bring your students down. I mean, this would be a great opportunity to show them some of what's happening in Detroit and potential career paths. I mean,
Dave, shoot a note we speak once in a while at Lawrence Tech to their business students.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be a good call for him.
And as a IT advisory chair for Oxford schools, for high schools, I can shout it out to them as well for their students.
Yeah. We have some connections over at Walsh. We'll do the same.
Right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Again, it's free. So I mean, there's no risk. Just show up and see if you like it.
It should be interesting to see what kind of people show up.
Right, and Mark and I were joking, you don't want to have the unemployed person for riffraff,
right.
Unemployed for 6 months showing up and hey, do you guys have any iOS developer positions opening? Yeah, do you have any free coffee mugs?
Right.
But I mean, you summed that up pretty good. I mean, you want to represent yourself pretty well,
Yeah, I would expect that people are going to invite themselves into that environment, are going to behave appropriately, and if you are a job seeker looking to make an impression on one of those companies, you're going to put your best foot forward
and bring an empty backpack so you can load it up with koosh balls and
so many koozies.
As you go trick or treating for all the trinkets and trash.
Yeah, free mouse pads. Yeah, it's like going to the auto show.
I used to work with a guy that when we used to go CES and all that, he would bring 2 suitcases, one full of clothes, one empty.
Well, he must have kids. He wants gives all the toys to the kids.
But he would literally load up an empty suitcase.
As marketing people, we think about this stuff all the time.
What's your favorite swag that you've ever gotten at some sort of symposium?
They're all garbage.
We do silly putty, and that goes over really well because no one else
for 5
does
minutes.
You know what I'll use? You know what I'll use the most is a coffee mug.
You know what I could at trade shows? You know what I could use? Yeah, coffee mugs. The never throw them away. Give me a bottle of water.
Yep.
I mean,
I don't care if it has your logo on it or not.
We should probably start playing the crickets again because we're probably really boring people.
This is good stuff.
Bake cookies and give away bottles of water.
I don't eat anything somebody else baked.
Really?
No.
If you
don't know
buy
what's
them
in
from
it.
a bakery, you're all right.
There you go.
You bake
You're at a trade
Mark,
show.
You never know.
Mark, you must have had a bad experience.
That's like the candy.
He brings his own
They pass
easy
out.
bake oven to trade shows.
Says the guy who's bringing us
you,
to
like, put
Ann
your bag
Arbor.
through
That's different. I'm not cooking the food.
And
Home of
paying
the
for-
hash bash.
Paying for the food.
I'm not
right?
cooking the food.
Yeah. Hash bag.
It is Ann Arbor.
But no, back to this event though.
Yeah.
We were talking about this too. Salespeople. I mean, I can see business to business people coming there that have always wanted to do business with another company, and now's the opportunity.
Do those guys really want to get sold to though? They'll never open their doors up again. No, am I wrong?
But you're
I
sharing
don't know.
ideas.
I mean, yeah,
it's a partnership. You know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You do
not.
something
It's
like
not just.
that.
Well, and honestly, it's probably going to come down to approach. I mean, yeah.
I'm a sales guy. There's no way I'll go sold.
Yeah, but you have to remember that these companies that are opening the doors for this event, they're not all competitors.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
across
and I'm
all
sure
multiple
they're not like
industries.
giving out secrets either.
Well,
you know
but
what
I don't think
So
it's about.
not like
But see, I don't think Bob's talking about competition. Bob's talking about like a Wolverine coming in, going, "Hey, you need developers? We've got developers."
Oh, and then Brightwing coming in 10 minutes
Hey,
later
let me
saying,
look at
"Hey,
your-
you
let
need
me look at your
developers?"
data center.
But
Yeah,
what's wrong
exactly.
with? But let's flip it on its head. What's wrong with that? That's competition.
Yeah.
Hey, we're sitting here around the same table. I mean,
Right, exactly.
And sometimes it's really simple. It's about what we were talking about earlier. It's networking. Sometimes you just got to start a relationship. It's an introduction. You don't start with, "Hey, we got some Java developers to help you." It's let's start a conversation. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. But you look like a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I want to have a
Let's be
conversation
nice
with you and
guys
get a beer.
together.
Right. Well, but and at the end of the day, the reality of the situation is 10 years from now, you're probably going to wind up working at the same company. I mean, it is a very small little community.
You want to know small world? Thinking about that, the guy that was my onboarding guy today that met me
Is
at
the
front
guy
door.
that spectacularly quit from HP?
Right? No, he's North Carolina. But
HP-all.
the guy was like all day. He was like, "Why do you look familiar?" And he was at the event. He was accompanying his brother who came in from Chicago to hire somebody at our 313 event. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I completely talked to you for like a half an hour at that event. My brother placed like two people." from that event."
We've actually got a call coming in,
Oh,
and,
geez.
and hopefully it's not Tad. So let's see what this is.
I bet it's from Alaska.
Yeah, who do we have calling in? Frank, what can we do for you?
I wanted to ask a question to that guy, Jason, from OpenCo.
All right, go ahead. Shoot, what do you got for Jason?
He's right here.
I wanted to know if he had any contact with anybody from the city of Detroit or maybe even the mayor's office to kind of proactively get the message out that this is going on in the city.
Well, I think you said something about Bing being engaged.
Yeah, we've got a commitment right now from the mayor to sort of open things up as the as sort of the guest speaker. He's going to kind of do a quick couple of remarks at the VIP event on the 11th, and then that will sort of kick off. He's sort of doing the official, unofficial welcome to the city. Thanks for having the event, which will then kick off into the keynote and the panel and things like that.
So, Frank, you're asking about from like a marketing and PR perspective. What is the city of Detroit doing to push this out?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Again, I think we're leveraging a couple different marketing channels in terms of our own personal contact list. We're coming down shows like this. We have reached out to the city. We don't feel it's the city's responsibility to market this event for us. They can if they want to, but honestly, we're trying to sort of navigate all the roads that we've got right now, and then any other channels that that people can open.
What
up for
about
us.
the news or media? At all?
Yeah, TV, radio.
Radio. We're trying. I think we've got a couple of things that we're working on, trying to get a little bit of extra, publicity and exposure.
Well, isn't Michelle from DET?
Yeah, we might be able to help there,
just a little bit.
Oh, we do, and we do. Yeah, we do have a contact there, and then
Good point, Bob.
we talked to Roop Raj at Fox 2. We're hoping he's going to get us on the air pretty soon. So trying to hit all the channels, but that's a great suggestion, Frank.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, man?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Frank.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
All right. Have a good
one.
night. And where were we before all of that happened?
Next time he needs to do the first time call or long time listener, first time caller.
Right.
Hoopah.
I've listened to all 8 episodes.
We were talking about what wakes you up in the morning, or which one? What?
Yeah, no, we're talking about RoboCop 2.
Hashtag rise and shine.
RoboCop 2 and bacon wakes me up in the morning.
Are we doing hashtag RoboCop 2 from now on?
Yeah, we'll tag all of our events that way. And for what it's worth, I mean, if anybody else wants to call in, the number is 313-462-0107.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, again, thank you, Ray Braun.
And for the record, shut it.
Exactly. And shut it. No, but so, getting back to the whole OpenCo thing, I mean, so it's, what are the...
Well, I was going to
if
talk
any,
about
the limits or parameters that you're trying to put around, who comes to this thing and what you're expecting out of it.
Thinking of the whole the reason the event was created in the beginning, it's to embrace sort of the open web and this collaboration and innovation and showcase these companies. I mean, we started it with the very best of intentions. We would expect to
that never goes well. Trust us.
You know what I mean? We've got to have the. At least a positive frame of mind going into this. We hope
as a resident food guy here, I'm just curious. Are you like talking to like? It'd be cool to like have like Supinos or like Slows or like Dago Joe's following you around. Is that something that we're going to Supinos for a slice? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that something that's on the docket, or what do you guys?
I think and that's a great suggestion. I think part of what we're trying to do is provide some in the FAQs of the event almost, or the user's guide to OpenCo Detroit. We're trying to potentially curate a few ideas like that.
A couple of food trucks following you around all day would be ideal, right?
Yeah,
if you got 200-300 people,
especially Slows.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and I'm sure it wouldn't suck for the food trucks either.
Right.
Well, don't they have at the Campus Martius? Don't they have the 8 or 10 kind of like almost like food, like the stationary food things going on? That'd be a great stop too, because you got tons of 8 choices. I think.
There's a bar there now.
Yeah, there is a bar,
as we've learned.
Well, you know what you could do too is, there's so many awesome restaurants in Detroit that people don't know about. That once they knew, that are like hidden gems.
Yeah, I think.
What's your favorite hidden gem?
What's that one? I don't know if it's a hidden gem, but I really like Bucharest Grill.
That's not a hidden.
That's not a hidden gem. Yeah,
everybody knows that.
I would vote for
as we get all judgmental.
I mean, it's fantastic.
I was there before; it was cool.
I vote for Roma Cafe. I know it's old. I know it's oldie but goodie, but Roma Cafe is that secret hidden gem.
Are we recording?
I was looking over the list though, of companies
that totally
are
freaked me out for a minute. Yes, we are.
Of companies that are participating. Is there certain ones that you think they're going to be really, really hot that people want to go to?
Yeah, I think Quicken. I think Shinola. I think Detroit Denim.
Okay, so for those who don't know, what is Shinola?
It's a Neil Diamond song, I thought.
Oh no! They make.
I thought it was you don't know from Shinola.
Yeah. No, it's a great company. You should check them out on. You can look at them on Facebook or Twitter.
They do watches, do they not?
Yeah, beautifully crafted, handmade
right,
watches.
Yeah, they're all sold out for like the next year.
They're high end watches,
right.
and handmade bikes. And I think there's other.
I know them because of their bikes.
Yeah, leather goods and things like that. But it's sort of that really amazing. I would have never expected to find that in the city of Detroit, and here it is. They've just opened a storefront in Detroit, and I believe they're going to open another one up in New York somewhere.
Are they in what's the radio building down in Midtown? I thought weren't they in there?
The Fisher building?
I don't know exactly where, but I follow them on Facebook, and they show pictures of their stuff all the time, and it's cool.
No, I read a story about them. Yeah, I just don't know the name. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. So again, all kinds of cool stuff going on down there. It's det.openco.us. Go ahead, check it out, and see see the companies. You can click on all the links. All the logos are on the first page, and you can kind of investigate the companies and figure out what you want to go see.
Very cool. So let's drag it back over to Scott, Mark. God, why do I keep doing that? I keep calling him Scott. It's the mental block because
wait, Mark. What's your middle name?
Anthony.
No, you have to understand, because every time I think of Wolverine,
are mad.
My middle name,
dude. There's like this rage block in my head because Scott Fitzgerald from Wolverine used to taunt me about Todd Bertuzzi constantly. Because I am not a Todd Bertuzzi fan, and I mean he showed up at our events before in a Bertuzzi jersey. And
I'm going to do that next Thursday.
Call him up, borrow it from him. I mean it's just a total mental block. But so Mark, I'm terribly sorry. So Wolverine, I want to double back and just as we're closing
Bob,
out
go
here,
ahead, Bob.
Right? Absolutely, it happens all the time.
Steve Dave,
Steve Dave, Frank. So again, I mean, where do people find out more about Wolverine? I mean, it's WolverineTech.com.
That's correct.
And they can find gigs. They can apply for gigs. They can look
Absolutely.
for what?
And we also post all of our jobs on Dice.com as well, so they could do a search on Dice.com.
Are you posting them on our LinkedIn group?
Yeah, from time to time we do.
No, you.
Oh, don't
you need
say
to
that.
start.
From
No.
time to time we do.
Not
Maybe.
Only the good ones.
I will
right?
start.
As of 10 minutes from now, he will.
Right,
be.
exactly.
I know
As I'm
Scott used to
walking
do
up
that all the time.
I know he
Wait,
did.
you have a LinkedIn group?
Right.
Where's
Says the
that
guy
at?
who never reads anything.
Where's
we write.
that at?
I do.
Right.
Just not your stuff.
I did like
Right.
it today because you mentioned my name.
Of course.
And it was Mark, not Scott.
Actually,
You
I
got that
get
correct.
it right in writing. It's only when I'm talking. But yes, I mean, from a Wolverine perspective, I mean, what are you hoping to pull out? I mean, other than obviously, just meeting a ton of people and candidates,
Yeah, top talent.
what are you expecting out of August 15th?
Top talent. The same thing when I meet at all the events that I go to. I mean, about 50% of the room is going to be recruiters and sales, and the other 50% is IT talent. I mean, that's what these events are all about. So it's the networking part, building relationships more than anything. I personally invited clients of ours to attend. I invited candidates that I know that maybe I don't have the job for right now, but there's going to be other companies there that can help them out. I mean, that's what this is all about. If I can't place them, I want somebody else to. I mean, these are good, talented people in Detroit that need to find a job. So.
Or Ann Arbor, as the case may be.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and I mean, there is a lot of cool industry out that way. I mean, you've got Google that set up shop out there. I mean, what are some of the other companies that you're dealing with that you're bringing out that way?
University of Michigan. I mean, everybody wants to work there if they're a U of M fan, of course.
As
we do have
Elise's head
Toledo
exploded.
now, so yeah, we got to be careful with that.
Is her mic on? Because she's actually dry heaving
Yeah, I
over there in
know.
the corner.
Right.
I wish you could all see my face.
But I mean, and maybe
wanna
that's
vomit.
maybe that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
Talking about people don't make that commute and make that drive.
It's the Sparty grads that
Absolutely.
are working at McDonald's that are angry that they're not getting more than minimum wage.
And there's the small.
Those are fighting words.
Thanks, Mike Valeni.
Andrea, Chris, please call in.
Yeah, we got 7 minutes for all the Spartan fans to call in now. The countdown is on.
Bravo. Sorry.
And everybody forgets about all the small startups. There's a lot of small, app development startups.
Well, I
in
know Spark
downtown
East is
Detroit.
out there. I mean, there's
Yep.
a lot of cool little
Systems
stuff
Emotions,
happening out there as well.
ProQuest, LlamaSoft. I mean, there's a lot of little small firms like that. And maybe they don't have 100 plus employees, but it's a good place to work to build your skill set to learn new technologies.
I mean,
and
are you
grow.
getting people that are Metro Detroit that'll say, "Hey, I got a gig in Ann Arbor," and they're relocating? I mean,
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
that's not
even
that's
that
not a commute.
we were joking about the commute earlier, but
No, and you get people that will relocate out of state to Ann Arbor. I mean, they much rather go to Ann Arbor than Detroit, for instance, just because they hear about Detroit on the news. And though, here we are promoting how wonderful it is and the things that are coming, but they have a negative
absolutely.
feeling in
that's
general
nationwide.
about what they see on the news.
That's an uphill battle. That
And so when you sell Ann Arbor, I mean, you can draw a circle around Ann Arbor, and there's at least 8 to 9 cities that are beautiful cities to live in that are all 10, 15 minutes from downtown Ann Arbor.
And don't underestimate the commuters either. I mean, a good friend of mine that I work with commutes every day from Ann Arbor to Birmingham because he loves to live there and he likes what he does in Birmingham. So
really,
if it's the right situation, some people will make the drive.
Yep,
Hour and a half commute and
Lansing,
triple the
Grand
taxes.
Rapids,
I love
Jackson, all those areas. So.
Well, it goes back. I mean, if it's important to you, if you enjoy it,
yeah,
Well,
more power to you.
Well, and you don't pick where you live based on where you work. I mean, because where you work theoretically will change a lot more than where you live.
Nice segue. Wraps it right down to how we opened the show with the entitlement mentality guy. It
is. I mean, it's
you don't want to take only look for jobs that are 2 minutes away from your house. It's
Unless
just
you're
not
home based
realistic.
like me.
Unless you're Bob,
right? Unless you're Bob and you want to spend half your day playing Call of Duty.
No, you know what? I got for the first time since like 05, I got an office to go to. So I was really excited about going to the office. I'm walking in, I'm expecting to meet, everyone.
And you're on the phone with tech support for 6 hours.
And it's tumbleweeds going through the office. I'm like, there's no one here.
It's the work from
hello,
home policy.
hello.
They're all on the golf course where you should have been.
Yeah, exactly. But it was the first day of the first fiscal quarter, so you figured the office would be full, right?
All right, we thought the feed went down, but it looks good.
No, it says it's still running.
Yeah.
They have a bad connection.
What were you saying, Bob?
Sorry.
Baron von Shush.
No, but
false alarm.
But what I was saying is I was excited to go to an office, right? Because first time and kind of build some camaraderie, and it was complete crickets going on in the office.
Right.
And I talked to him. He said, "Yeah, by Friday you won't see anyone here." was don't even bother showing up. So they're outfitting me with a home office again. So I guess, work from home. Ideally is that, I think more companies are starting to go that route just because office space is expensive.
Yes and no. I mean, you look at what Yahoo did.
And the flag that she caught.
forth.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, it's a right time, right place kind of scenario. I mean, yeah, there are telecommuting jobs out there, absolutely. Right. But again, I mean, that part of the issue is that people devalue and underestimate the value of FaceTime, and it's no different than everything we talk about with networking. Right. You can send 1 million emails off, you can make 12 phone calls a day, you can do everything you want to do, but you will still get more out of a 2-minute face-to-face conversation with somebody at one of our events than you ever will through any one of those means.
Yeah, remote working will only work in an organization where you've got enthusiasm for a project or the company itself, the company culture. If you don't have that, if you've got a group full of coasters that are just in there and, all joking aside, they're doing the Skyrim or, Call of Duty for 6 hours out of the day and coding for 2 hours.
Well, don't forget Tuesday through Thursday I'm on sales calls. I'm traveling. Monday and Friday I'm, home office taking care of paperwork and doing, odds and ends. But for the most part, I'm on the road.
Yep.
And not people that are, coding or people that are, aren't doing that. Or they're, at least traveling wise. So there's a balance. You know what I mean?
And I would think in order to do that full time, man, you got to be super self motivated.
Yep. Yeah. There's discipline is key.
Well, sales guy motivated by money, right? I mean, if I'm not motivated by money, I'm not going to be in sales. Mm-hmm. So I wake up in the morning going, if I don't do X, Y, Z, I'm not going to be able to buy baby new shoes, right?
Mm-hmm. Or buy bacon.
I'm not going to be able to buy Call of Duty 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is.
No, I'm not Call of Duty right now.
You're past that now?
Yeah.
The same
what's the new hotness?
I bought 2 old games. I bought Red Dead Redemption, so I'm on that right now.
Should I break out the Crickets app? Are you guys done with that?
Yeah. Thanks, Sheldon. Isn't that the Sheldon's always
I'm waiting for Grand Theft Auto 5. That's going to be my time waster du jour for the holiday season.
You got it all planned out. Your holidays.
I do. Underpants Fridays. That's when you're home base. That's what you call them.
Oh man!
With the pink fuzzy bunny slippers, where the webcam doesn't actually pan down below your waistline.
No, it's like the Better Off Dead look, where you come downstairs in your underpants and the quilt, and then you get the tie around your head, and then you come downstairs and you big bowl of cereal,
Your daughter's getting old enough now where they're going to start being embarrassed, by
That's
the dad.
fine.
Oh, Dad, I have friends over. Come on.
That's the whole point of being a dad, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's to embarrass your kids. All right,
leave me alone. I'm working.
So we're coming up on the end of the show here. I want to make sure we close out with a few links, and again, they'll all be out on our site probably first thing tomorrow morning.
Robocop2.com.
Just give it up, Bob.
Bacon.com.
Hashtag Rise and Shine.
Ah, yes.
ITinTheD.com.
Yeah, I got your hashtag Rise and Shine right here. So we've got Wolverine Tech. That's at WolverineTech.com. It's the Mark, the recruiter that we've had in studio with us all night, that's going to be sponsoring our event on August 15th out at Connor O'Neill's.
Be there
in Ann Arbor. It's going to be phenomenal. All the details are out on our site, which is DetroitNet.org or ITinTheD.com. We've got April and Elise with us that are in from Bright Wing, which apparently is staffed entirely by cheerleaders because it's GoBrightWing.com.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for sticking around and putting up with us.
Right.
Yeah, we had fun.
Jason, sorry, God, I knew I was.
This is Jason. This is Mark.
I knew I was going to.
That's April.
See,
Everyone wear a name tag.
I'm Steve. This is Frank.
You know my rule of 3. I've only met him twice. So Jason's
He's only been here for 2 hours.
You know how it goes with me. And it's det.openco.us.
Yep, doctor.
And
I'm glad I'm not sick.
I'm going to let you hold this chair next time, and you can run with this nonsense.
I got something for you to hold. This has been episode 8, IT and the D Raw Radio X. See you guys next week.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's all, folks.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way